Is like, is he going to like actually I guess riff his way out of this, almost like fucking he's Axel Foley in Beverly Hills Cop? Like, is this person going to see through his act, or is he going to make his way out? Or in like that moment when he makes friends with the one like merch seller, Jamie, who is the guy who's very funny actually.
Scene. Yeah, those were great.
The
scenes.
actor who played him, Jonathan Langdon, is quite funny, and they have a lot of great interactions. He's actually like the one character who he thinks is like super nice, and because I think at one point they go to him to buy a shirt, and one of the other parents or girls says, no, that's my shirt, I'm getting the last one, and he goes, it's okay, honey, we'll get you like something else, and Jamie goes, you're an actual nice guy, you're not like an evil mother like that person is, which obviously there's a comedic irony to that because he's a fucking serial killer, but at the same time that leads him to being allowed to take his employee badge and to get into a trusting position with him. And there's a moment where Jamie hands him a box cutter where they're going to open up the box and get one of the shirts. And you briefly are led into, this guy's got to go, right? Is he going to slice his neck with the box cutter? But then he goes, nah, he's too nice. I actually can't do that. I'm not going to do that. But the threat is there and the tension is there. And, and then so much of the rest of that is like that comedic and that violent tension, like bleeding into one another. Yeah. And the ridiculousness of, is he going to be able to, through this pure like OCD decision-making perspective, is he going to keep sustaining this? Is he going to keep spinning plates? How is this going to keep chugging along? Yeah. And he manages to make this payoff until the movie basically ends, which is shocking because at a certain point you're like, well, no, he's caught. How does he get out of this one? And he's doing like cartoonish shit. He's doing stuff that I tried to describe it in my review as like when you're playing Hitman, which is great that if that woman is the voice from Hitman, because it totally works. That would be awesome. I'm gonna look it up. I love the Hitman games, especially these new like remakes that they've done. I love going through a level of them, and the appeal of them is how ludicrous of a plan can you make. And does it work, or do you have to like suddenly improvise because you made a hilarious fuck up or something? That's so much of the appeal of the game. Yes, absolutely. And so much of the appeal of this movie is he's choosing an ambitious strategy. And is it going to fuck up, or is he going to get hilariously lucky, or what's going to happen? And that's where it kind of reminded me of House That Jack Built a little bit, where there's a baked into it too, where it's a serial killer perspective. And there's so many scenes where he gets like hilariously lucky, like when he's like dragging that bloody corpse in his van and he drives it all the way back to his lair, realizing he's left a blood trail from the crime scene to his lair. And then the rain comes down. He's like, like a gift from God. This feels like that happens to this guy over and over and over again, but he's making it happen, and he's doing like goofy like NPC tricking, like when there's a spot where he's like, hey, that girl looks like she's kind of drunk over there. What if I just like pushed her down the stairs and distracted everyone? Steal the badge, get the coffee. What if he puts all those glass bottles into the deep fryer until they explode or whatever? And you get the one shot of the girl, the employee, with all the horrific burns as they're dragging her body out, and and like all of these escalate into a series of just like misdirections, and like how could he possibly claw himself out of this? How could he find another contorted position? And the gag of the movie is just that he keeps doing it beyond logic, beyond anything. The guy is like a Looney Tune. He's like Roadrunner. And the cops are fucking Wile E. Coyote, and it's fantastic. And it literally does this until the last frame of the movie, which I lost my mind. That was when I was already enjoying the movie, and I think got on its wavelength more than some other people have, because I clued in that it was funny pretty quickly. And if you do, it so pays off for that third act when they actually leave the concert stadium, and it's like, how the fuck is he going to get the pop star driving him home and getting into the car? And we haven't even talked about the fact that the pop star is actually Shyamalan's daughter either. And I actually think I
thought she was pretty good.
I don't know. I thought she was totally serviceable. I think she works perfectly fine for the film.
Yeah, the one scene that like she's a little shaky on, but again, I think the moment is so ridiculous that it almost works on this like B movie level in this sense, because it's so silly, is when she's using her mass following and going on live streams so that she can be like, hey everybody, I'm in this house, there's a serial killer, you need to find the address. Now what I think is ridiculous about it is just the general premise is obviously very ridiculous, but nowadays, honestly, with doxing and the power of the internet, I think that's completely believable as a thing that like Ariana Grande could actually pull off. So I don't know. It kind of works.
That's what they should be using their power to do when you think about it.
Exactly. And I do think that like everything else that's been built into the movie works in that context. So I thought that she was fine. And I do think
I like the fact that it's a father-daughter movie,
that's why
and
that's
at its heart like what it is in terms of the Josh Hartnett relationship with his daughter, and the fact that you can kind of sense him having that relationship with his daughter and balancing like a work-life thing as well, like behind the camera with what he's doing with her. And I will say, she's a good singer. Her songs are not like amazing, but they are fine. Totally serviceable for exactly what she's needed to be in the movie. She's needed to be like a kind of radio pop star. That's totally, exactly. Music is not the best music. It's not my favorite music.
No, it's built for 10 to 15-year-old girls, and that's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just it's she is the type of artist, at least right now,